Well, good morning, Rovers. It's the next day, it's Wednesday actually, and we have a hurricane approaching. The hurricane is expected to get here Friday with some high winds and a lot of rain. So we want to be finished up pretty soon. We only did about 4 hours yesterday on account of we had very high winds, but in that time, we got the strapping on and we got all the rafters calculated and cut and the ceiling joists that go with them. I'll be showing you those right away, and also we'll be installing those today. So that's our goal, to get those installed and hopefully get the strapping on the roof, and then all we have to do is the fascia, and we should be well buttoned up, and I'll put extra bracing on before the weekend as Hurricane Elsa approaches. All right, time to crack on. So let's start off by cutting those rafters. Well, the rafters are a little less than 8 feet long, so I can get 2 out of a 16-foot length so long as I cut it in half. And that's what I'm doing here. So there will be a left and a right just by cutting them in half using my square to give me a 412 plumb cut. The square can also be used as a guide for the saw. That way, making sure that your plumb cuts, those are the cuts that go up against the ridge, are going to be really, really accurate. Well, earlier this morning, we laid out a rafter. We took our time and made sure everything was really accurate. That then became our template, and we're using that template to mark out all the rafters. That way, all the rafters will be identical. Good. Interesting, the height difference. Yeah. I'm going to start out by cutting what's known as the bird's mouth. The bird's mouth is the little bit of wood that's taken out so that the rafter can sit snugly on the top plate. Well, the final cut I'm going to do to finish the rafter is another plumb cut. Now this one is for the fascia, but it's identical to the plumb cut I started off making, which was for the ridge. The rafters are all stacked up, and you can clearly see the bird's mouth here. And then the long piece of wood above the rafters, well, those are the ceiling joists, and they're all ready to go. Job 1 is to install the ridge board. Now we've built up this ridge board so that it's continuous for the entire length. We've also marked it where all the rafters are going to intersect on it. So we're all prepared in that way. All we have to do is line it up with these little king studs that we've put on the end, on the gable ends. It's always best to start with the rafters that are located at the joint in the ridge. A quick little overview of the rafters with the bottom piece of strapping attached and the fascia. The ceiling joists are really a very important member of the whole roof system. Without it, the walls would just splay out under the weight of the roof. Well, the strapping has now been attached to the roof, and it's just really efficient to let it run long and then come along with the skill saw after it's all installed and then just trim it to length. Well, now that the framing is largely complete, you take all the scrap and you cut it into blocking. Now you need blocking for the corners, the gable ends, and around the doors. Well, Rovers Depot is now all finished, at least from the framing perspective. It's been double braced on account of Hurricane Elsa, which has come and gone, and the building is just fine. Now it's just a matter of getting the steel, and we'll be putting the steel on just as soon as it arrives. Also, in the next episode, we're going to share a little surprise that the hens left us. Now, the best way to help Rovers rest is by sharing this content on your social media. And as always, Rovers, thanks for watching.